Hello everyone, Josée here from Creative Music. I hope you're improvising and having fun doing it. And so today's topic is about how can we sound like Mozart? How can we improvise in the classical style? So we have to know that in the history, in the classical and also the Baroque periods, improvisers or composers or performers were called to improvise over figured basses, which became later on lead sheets. And so the figured bass was written in Roman numerals, and so that the performers or the improviser or the musicians could transpose these music in different keys and these improvisation or composition in different keys. And so as opposed to the lead sheet today, it's mainly written with chords. And so this is how we read the harmony of the music today in the pop style and jazz style, for instance. And so at the time of the Baroque period and the classical periods, the composers were also writing for the court, for the kings. And later on in the Romantic period, the composers wanted to be fully composers and compose for themselves and reveal themselves. So they started writing down everything. And so the performers stopped improvising unless you're Chopin or Liszt, who were still improvising over their own music, or they were improvising in parties and small salons. But at the time of Bach and Mozart, Haydn, performers were improvising the full cadenzas, concertis, cadenzas. And in order to have a church job, you had to be fully skilled in improvisation and to be able to read figured bass and to be able to improvise in different styles of that period. And so it disappeared later on, and this is why I want to bring it back in a humble way, in my own humble way. I want to bring it back because I find that as musicians, we feel so much more rounded when we understand and we can improvise in the style of a composer or just improvise it for itself, because we understand more how the music is written, we understand the harmony, we express our emotions, we develop our creative voice, we loosen up our technique while improvising, we discover the spontaneity and different dynamics because they're felt from the inside. And so this is all benefit. This is creating a lot of benefits in a musician's life, but also to apply it, all these benefits to written music, if we want to still play written music, which is a good idea too. So today, how do we sound like Mozart? This is what I want to show and what I want to share with you. So I just picked up the Mozart Sonata Köchel 545 that everybody knows, and let's examine it a little bit closer. So we have the Alberti bass, which is very common in the classical period. It's basically a broken chord. So and we have trills also that are very common in that period to ornament the notes. And then we have scales, lots of scales. So that's also part of Mozart's music and Haydn and Clementi. And broken chords, arpeggiated chords in the left hand. Other arpeggiated chords. And that's creating a full cycle of fifths. So 5, 1, 5 of 5. all degrees, but just to tell you, it's the full cycle of fifths. And then you have those staccatos in your left hand with thirds, and a lot of grace notes. So again, the Alberti bass and the trill, and then we have solid chords often at the end, either at the dominant, if you're in C, this is a G chord, or to finish the piece, to finish the sonata, you have the C chord. So if we were to imagine, let's say, a chord progression of a C chord, a G chord on B, F on A, E minor on G, F, C on E, D minor on F, and G. Let's say I just created a chord progression that we can improvise on. You can create your own if you like. There's no obligation to do the same as I did. And then what can you do? You put your hand, your right hand, in the C pentascale, C major pentascale, and you just play with your let's say a few notes. Play with different themes, you won't. The first one I played didn't quite work out, so you want to play mostly notes that belong to in your right hand, you play notes that belong on the strong beats to your left hand chord. But if you hit a note that is not part of the left hand chord, you just do an appoggiatura or an ornament, and you resolve it up, higher or lower. So that's something you can do to make sure that that note in your right hand will belong to the chord in your left hand, but you can always resolve it. Make it simple at first, so you just imagine a theme, and then what can you do? You can play a sequence. What is a sequence? Is the same theme and reproduce it a note lower. So here comes the thrill. And then you can ornament when you come back to the repeat. Playing with it, that would be enough probably. And then let's say you want to imagine a B part. A B part could be at the dominant, or the second theme could be at the dominant. That's one thing we can do. I chose in this case to go to the relative minor, which is A minor. So I imagine a theme, and then I decided to change this Alberti bass to repeated staccato thirds or chords. That could be my second theme, which is more melodic usually in sonatas, but I'm not trying to reproduce everything like a sonata. I'm just talking about different idioms that you can reproduce in your improvisation. And then comes the arpeggiated chords in the cycle of fifths. imagine that we go back to the theme. A scale. Something like this, you know, that's in the style of Mozart. Of course, we all have a composer that we feel closer to. I have a few, but Mozart is one of them. It's in my fingers, it's in my body, it's in my spirit. But still, you know, play a lot of sonatas and a lot of maybe the easier one from Clementi, and so you can see what comes often, and also just have one theme, maybe just 4 chords, 8 chords, and see what you can do to include those. And of course you're going to make mistakes, but so what? You know, you just try it on, and you'll become better and better. And most of all, it's important to have fun. So have fun with your improvisations. And if you want to know more how to improvise in different styles, book a call, a free consultation call with me. There's no risk, no obligation, just a chat that we're having together to see if we can help you. Especially with my level 2, we discuss a little more about how to improvise in the style of Einaudi, Tiersen, those composers from movie composers, and of course the classical period, the romantic period. And so, you know, there's so much to experiment with improvisation. So I would be really happy to meet you, and we can see if we're a good fit together. And so book a call with me, enjoy your improvisation, and have a great day, everyone. Thanks for listening.